us a subject that is very, very important for the human race now in this time, and that is the subject of energy. And as Hari Das was just talking about, energization exercises, these exercises draw the energy into the body and make us know beyond a shadow of a doubt, if you do them regularly, that we are more than this body. We are more than a physical being. We are a soul, and we are children of God. We have so much potential in just a little gram of our flesh. Yogananda said, like Hari Das was speaking of, in 1 gram of our flesh, we have enough electricity to light up the whole city of Bangalore, Chicago, New York. And they've discovered that in science. Science is now catching up to the yoga teachings. It's so very important for us as souls to understand that our journey is a very short journey on this earth. We are reincarnated for a very short amount of time, and we have many, many incarnations behind us. Many, many incarnations that have brought us to this point right now in our evolution, in our spiritual evolution. And these teachings of Kriya Yoga have brought us the opportunity to experience ourselves as divine light, as children of God. We begin to experience ourselves on a soul level as unconditional divine love. That's who we are. We are not these bodies. We are consciousness, pure consciousness. And that consciousness is filtered down to thought, pure consciousness. And that thought, every thought that is in the universe, has a magnetism and energy around it. And that magnetism and vibration of that energy, of that thought, creates our physical world. So what we're trying to do in Kriya Yoga and all of these wonderful teachings that we've been listening to for the whole weekend, what we're trying to do is to retrace our steps. We're trying to get beyond the physical to our astral body to pure consciousness. That is the goal of Kriya Yoga. That is the goal of yoga. And when we experience ourselves as consciousness, then we will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we are one with God and that we have freedom in our consciousness. This is what all of these teachings are about. We must realize that in this age of energy now, this is Dwapara Yuga, these teachings are for this age because they're helping us to understand that we are made of energy. Just as these exercises that were given to us by the great yogi Paramahansa Yogananda, just as these exercises are for Dwapara Yuga, the Yuga of energy, well, just as these exercises make us realize that we're made of energy, this is what the purpose of life is. Because the more energetic we are, the more we feel ourselves as consciousness, the more we will understand what our life purpose is. Yogananda said that the greater the will, the greater the flow of energy. And then he followed that by saying, the greater the flow of energy, the greater the magnetism. And when we have strong positive magnetism, all of a sudden, our lives begin to change. We begin to see good things coming into our life. We begin to be successful at things that we have been wanting to be successful at our whole lives. We become better mothers. We become better parents. We become better students. We become better business people. When your magnetism is strong and you have a strong will, you can attract the things into your life that you want. It's quite simple. Remember that every thought has a vibration. Every thought has a certain vibration, and it's manifesting in this physical plane. Well, for us, if our magnetism is strong and our consciousness is high, and we are in a state of super consciousness, which is not too hard to achieve, when we're in that state, all of a sudden our magnetism draws into our life the right partner, the right things that we need to have a happy life in this world. And so the greater the flow of energy, the greater the magnetism. Yogananda also said something very, very important. He said, and listen to this, because this one thought could change your life. Environment is stronger than willpower. Environment is stronger than willpower. Think about that. Our environments in which we find ourselves will influence us more than even our willpower, because our will it's subjected to the environment. The environment will pull us down. There's very strong vibrations in this environment. But the environment doesn't always have to just pull you down. You can create an environment that is uplifting. You can create a beautiful world for yourself by watching your thoughts, by practicing yoga, by meditating deeply, by choosing, it's a choice, to change your inner environment. Because when your inner environment is calm and peaceful and joyful and forgiving and compassionate, when your inner environment has these spiritual qualities, you will attract into your life those same qualities. It's the law of magnetism. That's what we're talking about here with this Kriya Yoga technique and this Kriya Yoga lifestyle. We create an environment for ourselves that will help us to find God. That's what we want. You know, it's not easy in this world to create an environment when you look at all the chaos around us. It's everywhere. It's the traffic, it's the negative TV, it's the media, it's relationships that aren't going so well, it's anger. All around us, we have this environment that is trying to pull us down. But if you're strong, and you are practicing yoga, and you have a calm mind, your inner environment will go beyond the negative. We'll go beyond the negative, and we'll go into the positive aspect, and you'll begin to draw those things that you need to find God, because don't forget that the reason we were put on this earth is to find God. Nature, plants, water, all of these wonderful gifts from God are being destroyed on this planet. Why? It's the environment. But if you can create an environment around yourself, you will see that your magnetism will draw what you need. For instance, listen to the music that you listen to. Think about the music that you are bombarded with. Think about the noise, all of that constant decibels of negative vibrations going into your head all of the time. There are levels of vibration of music. And when you choose the right kind of music, automatically your consciousness is lifted up into the light, automatically. You'll see, you know, Swami Kriyananda told us a story. He read a book, and he said that this woman had a near-death experience. You've all heard of that. You die, you go into another realm, and then you come back and change your life and learn the lesson that was given to you. And so she went into this, she died, and she went into a lower astral region. And everybody was restless. Nobody was sitting down. There was no calmness. There was no peace. There was no joy. There was depression and sadness. And it really frightened her. But she realized when she came out of that situation, what had caused those souls to be in that consciousness. And it was the music they had been listening to. It was rock music. That's what she learned. It was that heavy beat, keeping the consciousness down in the lower chakras. It was that dark vibration. And so she spent the rest of her life bringing spiritual music into this planet and being a channel for good vibrations, for lovely vibrations. And this is a very simple thing that we can do in our own homes. Watch what you're watching on TV, because consider this. There's a person that's programming the television. That's why they call it programs. You're being programmed while you're watching the television. Who's programming? Do you want to be in that vibration? Do you want to be in that environment? Listen to the music you're hearing. Who is putting out that music? Where is their consciousness? Do you want that consciousness in your vibration? Do you want that consciousness in your life? Probably not, but it just goes in anyway. It goes in. So what we have to do is create an aura around ourselves that is strong and magnetic, that is spiritual, that is joyful. And with that magnetism, we will start automatically drawing spiritual things into our life. Turn the TV off, put on a beautiful spiritual video. But the music that we listen to is so, so important, so, so important as to how we live our lives and if we're happy or not, and how our consciousness is. You know, we have a daughter. At one point she was 3 years old, now she's 27, and she was very sensitive girl. And so one day she was having a tantrum. I know all you parents out there know about kids that have tantrums when they're that age. It's like a loss of control, and they're in it and the energy's there and they can't get out of it, and you feel for them. But you really don't know how to deal with it, because if you come down to their level, then you're out of control. What do? You don't spank them. That just makes it worse. What do? So one day she was having a tantrum, and I had this idea, and I thought, well, I'm going to turn on some of Swami Kriyananda's music, which is some of the most beautiful spiritual music I have ever heard. So I went into the living room and I turned up as loud as I could this beautiful music he had written for Ireland. It was called The Emerald Isle. And it was flute music, and it was uplifting, and it was lilting and spiritual music. In 5 minutes, and this is the truth, she was calm. I never had to say a word. I never had to discipline her. I didn't have to do anything. I changed the radio station. That's all I did. She was immediately affected by that vibration. Now that's just one soul. So just think about how the vibrations of this world are affecting you and your children and your families and the work environment. If you can, keep aware, be conscious, and be the person that makes the change. If you change yourself, you'll change the world. Don't wait for the world to change. It's not going to. It's been going on and on and on and on like this for incarnations and billions of years. But we can change. We can change. And you will see, once you start feeling the difference, you'll never want to go back to another way of life. We must be conscious. Remember, Kriyananda said something too, and Yogananda. He said, thoughts are universally rooted. Think about that. That was a very new concept when I first heard it. Thoughts are universally rooted. That means we, according to the level of the vibration of our consciousness, is it down in the lower chakras? Is it in the middle? Is it in the heart? Is it up here at the spiritual eye? We attract those thoughts in